the way I'm doing it. There's no need for comparisons here. You're just checking into where you are in this moment. So if you're able to just stay present with what's happening in your body, what's happening in your mind, what's happening in your breath right now, then that's a win. It's not even really about comparing yourself to yourself. Like, that's super valid strategy in life, but in yoga, there's not even that. It's just about where you are right now. So yeah, it's not a very linear progress type thing. It's not really about progress, because progress assumes that there's a past and that there is a future that we're working towards. In yoga, we're really just working on being in the present moment. Okay. So we'll get started here as we always do in a comfortable seated position. You might be seated on the floor like me in Sukhasana, easy sitting pose, that's just cross-legged. You can always sit up top of a blanket or a block to get your hips higher than your knees to make this posture more comfortable. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close. Turn all devices on silent. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze just beyond your legs is an option. Not looking at anything in particular, just letting the eyes rest. So we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears. And with an audible sigh, allow the shoulders to drop away. Allow the breath to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Returning to a natural pace. We'll take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. Just become present to yourself here in this moment. Here in this space. Allowing sounds into your awareness. The sound of singing birds or traffic passing outside your window. Allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. And just taking note to work into those spaces that call out for your attention throughout your practice here today. We'll shift the awareness from the body, Annamaya Kosha, up to the breath, the energy, Pranamaya Kosha. Noticing energetically where you're at in this moment on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl back into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shifting the energy or the awareness to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. I'm shifting the awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise freely, and observing these thoughts from a distance, like an image being projected onto a screen. The story goes on without our direct participation. No need to engage with the thoughts, just observe them. Notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. We'll bring the attention back down to the breath. Hello, readers. Welcome in, Malscamp, Swiss R, Terra Time. Welcome, welcome. You're just in time for our pranayama, kittens kung fu, and band slam. You're just in time for our pranayama, our breathing technique. Welcome in, my loves. So, right now we're working on expanding the breath, breathing in and out through the nose if that's available. That helps get the air ready for the lungs, making it warmer, humidifying it so that it's more easily accepted into the lungs. And we'll expand our breath by breathing directly into the belly. Belly expands like a balloon being inflated. Ribs expand as well. And on the exhale, the ribs zip in and the belly button pulls in towards the spine. Oh yeah, this is Lucy, the Lucian. She likes joining us for class. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale, let something more go. Inhaling, allow the belly to expand, the diaphragm gets to drop, leaving space for the lungs to inflate. And exhales, use some muscle energy, some muscle effort to pull that belly button in towards the spine, completely deflating. We'll add our pranayam, so our equal parts breathing technique that we've been working on all month, by adding a count to that breath. So the next time you inhale, counting up 6, 7, 8, up to whatever number. When you get to the very top of your inhale, where you don't have space for any more air, not even another sit, exhale for the same number count. So if you inhaled for 8, you'll exhale for 8. Long, deep breaths here. Eyes can be closed. Let there be space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. When the mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to counting. And the next time you exhale, releasing the count, releasing any effort from the breath, just returning to a natural breath's pace. We'll bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressed into the sternum, no space between the fingers. And consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all year, or something new might bring you to your mat today. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. So you're invited to chant along with me. First, just a clearing breath. Allow the hands to release to the lap, chin drops towards chest. And on an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, left ear towards left shoulder. It's super sensational, sagacious, sanguine, sapient sound. Solid, alliteration, my friend. So we're just allowing the head to roll side to side. Thanks, Kittens Kung Fu. It's great to have you. Great to have you back in class. Just beginning to bring some movement gently into the body. And then extend the head, rolls through center. We'll bring it up to neutral and just begin to roll the shoulders forward. So the reason we work on pranayama or breathing every day at the end of our meditation is to build a better relationship with the breath. Why? Like, what does that even mean? Basically, with a good relationship with the breath means that we can slow it down or speed it up as necessary to help us deal with our emotional state or even our physical state. So we could slow the breath down to help ourselves get to sleep or to calm down from a potentially aggravating situation. Roll the shoulders back. If you're starting to feel fear or anxiety in the body, and there's not like a lion coming after you, there's not like a mob of people like on the street coming to attack you, then you can use your breath to calm down and take proper account of the situation. Not convince yourself, but reassure yourself that you actually are okay, you are safe. So we're rolling the shoulders back here. And coming to stillness in the shoulders, arms sweep up overhead on the inhale. And exhale, we'll bend over to the right, but it goes even deeper than that. So we're following the breath here. Inhale sweeps you up overhead, and exhale over to the left. Because our breath can also help us feel warmer and colder. We can actually change our body temperature using the breath. Like Wim Hof is like super famous for that. He's like the Iceman. So he can do it like on command. He can like change his body temperature. He's awesome, just awesome. But yogis and monks have been doing this in the Himalayas, in the mountains for centuries to survive, like wearing like not enough clothes for the snow, and yet they're fine. How is that? Through pranayama, through breathing techniques that keep their body's core temperature warm. The next time the arms are up through center, we'll twist it over to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, just twisting the chest towards the side wall. Inhale back up through center, and exhale to the left. We're following the breath like this, in through center, and out to twist, just allowing the speed of the body to be informed by the length of the breath. So are we going to be melting the snow around us while we breathe? Probably not. Probably not from 5 minutes a day, even 7 days a week. However, it is useful even just like at the bus stop when you're cold in the mornings. Or if you're like overheated and like you don't have AC. You can use the cooling techniques. So useful in the day-to-day. We'll bend in the elbows, hands come to ear height, and give the hands a wave. So every month we've been focusing on a new pranayama, a new breathing technique. Last month, January, was Dirga Pranayama, 3 parts breathing. So basically breathing into the belly, the ribs and the chest, then exhaling chest, ribs, belly. And this month we're working on equal parts breathing. The hands flip down, we're wiggling the fingers from side to side. And equal parts breathing is a way to slow the breath down and build up our concentration muscles so that our mind doesn't wander while we're working on pranayama. But how you do one thing is how you do everything. So likely what's showing up to distract you from your breathing practice is what's showing up to distract you from the things in your life that you'd like to actually have more concentration in. Palms flip towards the sky. It's like you're trying to bring your fingernails to the back of your arm. Fingers spread wide, rotating. So really what we're doing here is trying to find all the edges of the range of motion for our wrists as we warm up the wrists, ligaments, muscles, and tendons before putting any weight on them. just shake it off nice and gentle, like you're shaking off water. Three, two, one. Take a sip of water. And we'll work on some neck tension release exercises. So bringing your hands to your jawbone, just below your ear. Seat it up nice and tall. You can be in a chair for this. And then we'll just move the fingers out like an inch. Slide the head from side to side. So don't turn the head. Nope, just slide. Shoulders not moving. Totally still. Oh, Alexa woke up in the room next door. So we're still breathing even with the challenge of sliding the head, same plane. So I'm not like bringing my head forward or back or anything like that. No, just side to side. If your head doesn't reach the fingers, just bring the fingers in a little closer. Start small and then see how far you can actually make it. Last week I got hired to, well actually months ago I got hired to, but last week I got up to that in the list of commissions, paint an owl. And they do this head thing. So I'm sure they don't have neck pain. 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Ear drop. Shoulder to shoulder. Alright, release any frustration that you may have felt on that. I'm just turning so you can see, but you can stay facing forward if that makes more sense for you. Staying up nice and tall. Chin tucks in towards chest and the nose comes down. We're making circles with the nose. Come all the way forward, all the way up, all the way back. And then chin tucks back in towards chest. So I'm trying to make long, smooth circles. Mom Furious, hello, howdy, howdy. The owl head is neat. Yeah, so these are all about opening up different areas in your cervical spine, releasing tension that builds up from texting and looking down all day. We're just keeping the shoulders, the whole body's relaxed, but with good posture. The only thing moving here is the head and neck. Keep it slow, keep it smooth. We're going to change directions. So now leading with the chin's making the circle, coming all the way forward, all the way down. Pull it in and up. Forward, scoop it down. Going at your own pace, really focusing on trying to get every vertebra in your neck to be moving freely and smoothly. Bring it back to center. You can just look over right shoulder, look over left shoulder, just releasing some of that. All right, legs extend out in front of you. This tea is so good. I'm drinking licorice tea this morning and it's freaking delicious. Like you don't even need to sweeten it because it's just like naturally sweet. Anyway, legs extend out the length of the mat, or like out in front of you. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out your ankles. Change directions. Bend in the knees, feet come flat, feet like mat's distance apart. Just drop the knees side to side. So now we're just waking up the hips. Mouse Camp, we just came. You guys just rated from your channel, right? How was your stream? What were you guys up to? All right. Next time the knees fall over to the right. We'll bring the right hand close to the right hip. Left arm sweeps up, hips and chest rise up. On the inhale, reaching back. And exhale, hips touch down. We'll bring the knees to the left. And arms sweep up. Lifting hips and chest. Exhaling to change sides. Inhaling to rise. Continuing to open up the hips and the chest. We did salutations, hand training, and finished with metta meditation. Oh, I love that. It sounds like a really nice lineup. Got one more to each side. Nice. Back through center. Knees fall over to the right, and we'll bring our hands to frame the right knee. Change this so you can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah. All right. And we're coming to tabletop. Better? Better. All right. Hands under shoulders, knees below hips. And then inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. And exhaling around in the spine, press the ground away, really open the space between the shoulder blades, cat pose. Just once more on each end. Breathing in through cow and exhaling through cat. We'll bring it back to center. Right arm sweeps open on an inhale. And we just got 3 back strokes. Just really opening up this shoulder. And this fourth and last time that it comes up towards the sky, we'll weave it under for thread the needle pose. Landing right shoulder and right arm on the ground. Let's see. Hips stay over knees. And I'm using this left hand to press into the ground to keep my chest open towards the long edge of the mat. Bottom right hand is pressing stronger or softer into the ground to find and locate the nicest stretch on that right shoulder blade. And breathing fully. Maybe the left leg extends. I'm still on my toes, I'm just pressing the heel back, extending the leg long. And then to play with balance, I just point the toe, letting the foot just float, or the leg just float. And real slow, like moving through honey. I'm just going to levitate that leg up. No rush, speed, momentum, it's not your friend here. It'll just send you tumbling over. And if you tumble over, it's all good. You're already on the floor. So, no worries. So we're just breathing fully here, focusing on stretching out that right shoulder. Last deep breath in here. And the exhale will gently lower the extended left leg, coming back down onto the toes. Knee touches down next to right. Press into the left hand to sweep the right arm open. And gently touch that hand down to the mat. I'm just going to rotate so I can keep facing the camera. You guys can see what I'm doing. left arm sweeps open to the sky. Tabletop twist, and then exhale. We'll just have three big back strokes here. Just working into the shoulder to the very edges of your range of motion. On the fourth rotation, or half rotation towards the sky, and then we weave it through for thread the needle pose on the other side, landing left side of the head and left arm on the ground. See better there. Okay. Right hand's pressing into the ground to keep the chest open towards the long end of the mat. Hips are over the knees. I'm using this hand to press into the ground. Using the bottom arm to press into the ground to find a nice stretch on this left shoulder. And maybe the right leg extends straight. Just keep the toes on the ground just in the beginning, just to kind of get my bearings straight. And maybe the toe points, bringing the foot to a little float. Slowly levitate the leg up. Still breathing fully, so sometimes our bodies can go further than our breath allows, and we just want to let the breath actually make the call here. So intense is good, challenging is good. If it takes your breath away, just take it down a notch. No need to be breaking any personal records today. No medals will be handed out. We're just in this moment working on stretching out this left shoulder. Working through breathing, even in the challenge with balance. Breathing in and out through the nose if that's available. We'll gently float the right leg down, toes touch down, knee touches down, right hand presses into the ground, left arm sweeps in up towards the sky, and let the left hand touch down as well. So here we are back in tabletop pose. We'll reach the right leg up and back behind you towards the wall, flexing through the foot, heels pressing as if your foot's pressing against the back wall for support. Arms are strong, don't let yourself sink into your shoulders, pressing the ground away. And the left arm sweeps forward for extended tabletop pose. Mindful that your lower back is not swaying, so you just want to zip in all of these abdominal muscles, so you're just a nice long extended table, just as the name says. Deep breath in here. And exhale, curl it in, rounding the spine like through cat pose. Lift the belly out of the way as elbow comes towards knee, knee comes towards elbow. Inhale to extend long, reaching in opposite directions in the room. And exhale, curl it in, lifting the belly out of the way. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl. Inhale, extend. And then bending the right knee. Big backstroke, just as we did before with the left arm. Maybe you're able to grab onto this foot. And the foot kicks into the hand to help pull the shoulder open. So it's a similar twist in the spine as we were just in our thread the needle pose, but with a chest opening instead of a shoulder blade opening. So my foot is kicking up and back. I'm letting my chest be open towards the long end of the mat. And I just got one more deep breath here. Slowly, I'll release without slingshotting the foot by pressing rewind through extended tabletop. Hand comes down, knee comes down. And then the left leg reaches up and back behind you. Foot can flex, And the toes are facing down, so my hip is not opening, it's staying square to the right hip. Right arm reaches forward, fingertips reaching, heels reaching, extended tabletop pose. Notice this left arm is pressing the ground away. I'm not letting myself sink into the earth here. Deep breath in. And exhale, curl it in, rounding in the spine, lifting belly out of the way, elbow towards knee, knee towards elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Last time, curling it in, lifting belly out of the way. Extend. Bend in the left knee. Big backstroke with the right arm. Grabbing onto top of the foot. And we're kicking the foot into the hand to help open the right shoulder and chest towards the long side of the mat. Breathing here. Last deep breath. And slow motion release without slingshotting the leg back. We come through extended tabletop pose. Release the hand, release the knee. Big toes come to touch, spread the knees apart towards the edges of the mat, and send the hips back for child's pose, bringing the chest and head down. Forehead can land on the ground, little forehead massage, giving the head a rock side to side. Press the hands strong into the ground, so strong that the elbows stay lifted. And then let the elbows press down into the ground, maybe bringing the hands into prayer behind the head to give the triceps a stretch. 2 deep breaths here. Hands press into the ground. We'll come back up to our tabletop pose. Right foot steps up between the hands, and left foot steps up to meet him. Bring the feet out to the edges of the mat, and just give a bend and extend to one knee and then the other, or maybe both knees as we just continue to warm up the back of the legs. And letting the head nod yes. Let it shake no. You can grab opposite elbows here, creating a frame for your head for ragdoll, giving yourself a rock side to side. Knees can be a little or a lot bent here. Just letting the weight of the head and torso open up the space in the back of the legs. Release the hands down, heel toe the feet in together, big toes come to touch, just a little space between the ankles. Inhale, half lift, hands on shins, crown of the head towards the front of the room, hips pressing back towards the back of the room, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you up one vertebra at a time. Heavy head comes up last. And arms sweep up when you get there. Just like me in frame. Better.
sweep them when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Right knee bends and comes in towards the belly. Fingers can interlace below the knee, pulling the knee in towards that right shoulder, using just bicep strength. So the shoulders stay relaxed and away. That standing leg is strong. We're letting the foot of the left leg really adjust and readjust accordingly.
Now connected to Pixel 3a.
Deep breath in here. And on the exhale, releasing the foot, we'll hinge on the hips as the head comes down, the leg reaches back like a seesaw. Weight of the head helps lift up this back leg. Virabadrasana III. The hips are squared to the ground, so don't let the right hip hop up higher than the left, as it probably naturally wants to. Your hands can even press down on the top of the left thigh for stability. Crown of my head's reaching towards the front of the room, just like a halfway lift, and this right leg is reaching towards the back of the room, just like extended tabletop. We've got another full breath here. Then bend in the front knee to float the right foot down to the mat. Left knee over left ankle. So it's okay if you have to adjust a little bit here, kind of not land on a balance beam, a little space like hips distance widthwise, foot to foot. We're bringing the shoulders up over the hips. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, just melt the shoulders away. Just like relax the shoulders, bring a little bend to the elbows to release that tension. And on the next inhale, both legs extend straight. So it's just like you're being pulled up towards the sky. My back heel is still lifted. And on the exhale, both knees bend. And I'm bringing this back knee towards the mat. It's barely kissing the ground. I'm not bringing all my weight down. I'm just letting it tap and bringing it back up. So inhale reaches you towards the sky. And the exhale, you can bend the arms as well, like a cactus, pulling the shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a pencil between them. Inhale lifts you up to rise. Exhale, dips down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, dip down. We just got one more like this. Then allow the knee to come all the way down. Untuck the toes and let the hips sink down and forward for Anjaneyasana. If sinking the hips down and forward brings the knee past, then just scoot the right knee even further back, because you want this knee to ankle alignment to stay the same. But now just letting a stretch come forward in the front right thigh. Inhale, arms up if they're not there already, and exhale, we'll high twist to the left. My left hand's reaching back, right hand's reaching forward. Hands can come to heart center in Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. And maybe we hook the right elbow with the left knee. Here, we press hands into one another, trying to bring the chest towards the center of the chest towards the center of the hands. So I'm really pulling this left shoulder back, opening my chest towards the side wall. I'm breathing strong here. Pressing back up to a high twist. Bring it back through center. Release the hands on either side, framing the front foot. And then we'll press the back foot, the shoelace top part of the foot, into the ground so hard that the leg lifts. So the knees lifting off the ground. So you should feel a deep stretch in the front of your right thigh. And still we're breathing fully here. Gently release that knee to the mat. Heel toe the left foot over towards the right hand. And then let the left knee come down behind the left wrist, allowing the left foot to maybe come down at an angle closer to the right hip. We'll heel toe or tiptoe the right foot back to bring the hips close to the ground. So my hips are square. I'm not sitting down on this left butt cheek. My hips are square to the ground. Deep breath in here in pigeon pose. Back foot is straight back. Don't let it curl in or anything like that. And exhale, we wave down, belly, chest, head towards the mat. If your back knee is giving you issues or it doesn't feel so good here, you can actually tuck it underneath just to keep a bend in that knee, and that'll keep it from feeling wobbly. But traditionally, it's just foot extended, pointed long. We're breathing into this left hip and glute area. So arms come to land where it serves you best, so you don't feel like you're in a perpetual push-up or anything like that. Just letting your top body rest. So one more deep breath here. And press into the hands to come back up to seated. Right toes tuck under, left leg sweeps up and back behind you. And give it a couple little circles, hip circles here. And let that foot be placed down for downward facing dog. Fingers are spread wide, head's heavy, chest is heavy, as if the armpits are pressing down towards the ground. Hips are pressed up and back like they're going to touch where the back wall meets the ceiling. And heels are pressed down towards the ground, regardless of if they touch or not. That's just the direction of the energy, the direction of the body. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just got one more deep breath here. Looking up between the hands, bend the knees nice and deep, and hop it up to the top of the mat. Take one or a couple little hops. You can also just step it up if you prefer. Hands come on to the shins. Deep breath in for a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Left knee bends and floats in towards the body. We'll interlace the fingers below the knee. Pull the knee in towards the chest. The shoulders be melted away. We're just using bicep strength here to pull the knee in. Release the grip on the knee. Head's coming forward as the leg reaches back like a seesaw. Weight of the head brings the back leg up and back, like making the letter T. Mindful that this left hip stays in alignment with the right hip. Don't let it pop up and open. We're keeping the hips square to the mat. Hand can come onto the top of the right thigh, pressing it back to help keep the chest upright. Virabadrasana III, Warrior III. And the gaze is straight down. It's not up ahead in front of you. It's down at the ground so that the spine can be nice and long. Reaching forward with the crown of the head. Reaching back with the foot. Another deep breath here. And bend in the right knee to float the left toes down, landing in a nice high lunge. Adjust accordingly to make sure that this knee is up over the ankle. I'm pressing back through the left heel, getting a nice stretch in my calf. My arms come up overhead with a deep breath in. Exhale, relax the shoulders away. Inhale, both legs extend straight and reaching tall. Exhale as the elbows bend, squeezing my shoulder blades together and dipping left knee to the mat. Inhale, rise tall, extend. Exhale, bend in the knees, bend in the elbows. Following the breath, in to rise, out to lower, in to rise, out, lower. Got two more like this. Then release this left knee to the mat. Untuck the toes for Anjaneyasana. So I'm going to send my hips down and forward. Remember, if this front knee is moving with you, or like if your front knee ends up in front of your ankle, just bring back your left knee so that your knee stays over the ankle. We just want the hips to be pressing down and forward. Get a nice stretch in this front left thigh, this hip flexor. Now arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, we twist to the right. You can stay here in this high twist or bring the hands to heart center in prayer pose. Left elbow can hook onto left knee. And we press the hands together to open the chest towards the long side of the mat, as if heart center was going to reach the hands. Still breathing fully, even in the contortion of the twist. We'll bring it back through center. Release the hands down to the mat. Top of the left foot presses into the ground so hard that the knee lifts. So, shoelace part of the foot pressing into the ground so hard that it straightens out the leg. Stretching out the whole front side of this left leg down. And the foot straight back behind me. Don't let the foot sickle in. So if I look back, it's a straight line. Foot's not coming in or rolling over the ankle or anything like that. Stretching out the top shoelace part of the foot, pressing the back of the knee up towards the sky. And I've got one more breath here. Gently release the knee to the mat. Heel toe the right foot over towards the left hand. And then drop or lower the right knee towards the right wrist. Letting this foot slide back accordingly at an angle. Left foot tiptoes back, back, back. Bring the hips close to the ground. I'm keeping my hips square to the earth. I'm not rolling onto the right butt cheek. Deep breath in here. And exhale, waving forward. Belly, chest, head. To find a place for the head to land so that you don't feel like you're in a perpetual push-up. So upper back and shoulders should be relaxed wherever you do find. Stacked fists, hands, pillow, a block, or the ground itself. Eko Pada Konasana, pigeon pose, or folded pigeon pose. So allowing your exhalations to release any tension that doesn't serve you, any holding in the shoulders or in the face.
Just got a last deep breath here. And we'll press our hands into the ground. Coming back, upright. Left toes tuck under, right leg sweeps up and back behind you. Three-legged dog. You can bend in the knee and just give some hip circles. And letting that foot come down for your downward facing dog, letting the head be heavy, letting the heels be heavy and press back. Chest pressing down towards the ground. Take a full breath here. And looking up between the hands, knees bend, step or hop forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way back up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Turn to face one another. And come into our shaking portion of class. So, it's giving the hands a bit of a shake, giving the feet and legs a shake. And just bring a bounce to the body. So that might look like just lifting the heels and letting them drop with soft knees, or give you a full jump. Let the shoulders be soft, the arms just fall out. You can take up some space. Now you can breathe in and out through the mouth as well. Audible sighs, encouraged and invited. Just let the body be relaxed here as the legs just continue to bounce or the jump. So imagine like when dogs are playing at the dog park, but then they end up getting in a fight, and then they both get separated and they shake it off. This is kind of like that. Except usually we didn't get in a fight. Like even arguments, right? It's like not really physical danger, hopefully. So there's a lot of stuff that we could just shake off that we just don't really have the opportunity socially to do in the moment. So this is kind of your opportunity to let that go. Like let go whatever your boss said to you, whatever you said. You know, if it doesn't need apologizing for, just like let it go. And all the other stuff that just subconsciously bothers us and builds up over time, we kind of get to scrape that out and just shake that out here too. Sometimes we don't even know what's bothering us, we just wake up in a bad mood. Sometimes we don't need an answer, we just need to let it go. So we have our breath of joy coming up. Oh, I just got kicked off the internet. Why? Am I back? I'm back. Okay, cool. So, we're going into our 3-part breath. Our breath of joy. No? Am I not back? Am I back? Am I back? Am I not back? Okay, cool. Perfect timing. I'm like sweating, like running around my house. Like, how do I make the internet go back? Connected? Maybe? Back now? Okay. Zoop. Maybe. I am live. Okay. Alright. Well, that was unfortunate. But I guess we're just gonna let that go too.
and our breath of joy. So it's a 4-part breath, and it looks like 3 sips of air in consecutively through the nose, and a big ha out through the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. And it looks like inhale, arms sweep forward, inhale, arms sweep out, inhale, arms sweep forward, and a big ha, arms sweep back and down behind you. So we got 10 of those. So it looks like in, ha, in, ha, in, ha. Ha! 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 3 left. If you haven't joined in, now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha! Ha! So land, hand on the belly, hand on the heart, feet nice and wide, and eyes can close. And we'll just take a moment here to see what was created. Higher heart rate, maybe elevated body temperature, but what else? I'm just taking your body as a snow globe and giving it a righteous shake, and now we observe where all that glitter dust settles. What is revealed? Whatever shows up for you, it's not right or wrong, not good or bad. It's just something to notice about yourself here in this moment. Making observations without judgment. Gently allow your eyes to blink open. You might grab a sip of water or towel off any sweat you might have built up. Take a sip. All right, if you're already on the ground, then you just stay there. We'll meet you. And if not, you can come down with me. Inhale, halfway, or rather inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. And exhale, bend in the knees deep, deep, so deep that you come to seated. We'll bend in the knees, feet open out to the sides for our Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. You can give your feet a little bit of a massage here. And then grabbing a nice good grip on the feet or the ankles. Take a deep breath in to get tall. And exhale, Hinge forward, belly, chest, head. It's like you're trying to bring your chest to your toes. And with that grip, you can use that leverage to press your elbows into the knees. And I'm not forcing them down to the ground or anything like that. I'm just pressing into them until I feel a nice stretch, until I feel resistance, and I'm just breathing into that resistance, just inviting it to release and let go. If your knees easily reach the ground here and it doesn't feel like a stretch, you can work on bringing your heels closer to your hips. Last deep breath here. Back up to seated, knees come in towards one another. You can scooch forward just a bit. Actually, while we're here, we'll just take, if you have a blanket, I totally freaking forgot to mention this, but if you have a blanket or a towel, you can fold it up like this, just so it's like maybe an inch or two of thickness, and lay it back behind you. If you don't have one, it's not the end of the world. I should have mentioned it earlier, but I didn't. Sorry. Alright, so I'm still seated on the ground. I'm gonna sit back, let the legs lift, coming into Virabadrasana, upward facing boat pose. Trying to get my shins parallel to the ground, shoulder blades still squeezed and tight. Deep breath in here. And exhale, release the hands. Open up a bit here, take a breath. Open up a little bit further, take another breath. Standing even wider, another breath. And let it all go. Full body stretch, reaching tall, toes and hands reaching for all the corners of the mat. Okay, so what I wanted to do here with the blanket, if you do have one below you, is you want to set it up so your head is just off the blanket. So my head's touching the mat, but my neck is all on top of the blanket or towel, even if it's not touching right now because there's an arch in the spine, in the cervical spine. If it were to press down, it would be pressing into the cushion. So we're going to play with our shoulder stand here. So knees bend, and alternately you can also be here in your bridge pose. So what that would look like is just lifting the hips up towards the sky, and now your neck and shoulders have a nice cushion to press into instead of just the mat or the floor. But shoulder stand looks like, get away from the wall. Looks like starting from the ground, it's like you're bringing your knees in towards your face, letting the hips rock over, and I'm grabbing, or rather I'm placing my hands underneath my lower back and letting my elbows walk in towards one another. My elbows aren't going to touch, but that's the direction that they're headed. And then I bring the legs straight up towards the sky. So this is Ardha. I forgot the name of it, but it's a half it's a half shoulder stand. To come into full shoulder stand, I walk the hands up the spine, bringing the hips up over the heart, and the heart's up over the shoulders. Shoulder stand. My legs are straight up overhead, and my neck's not pressing into the ground, it's pressing into the blanket. I want to be pressing into the shoulders more so than the neck. There's still going to be a bit of a throat choke here, a bit of closing off of the throat that's intentional. And the way I make it here, so I'm holding it up without feeling like I'm going to fall out, is I'm tucking my hips forward. So a posterior tilt, if anything. Really squeezing in the muscles of my lower abdominals to help keep hold this posture. Pressing into the ground with my elbows and triceps. And then to come out, I just let the knees bend. So some of the weight comes out of the hands. And I'm going to slowly walk the hips down. Trying to avoid the splay out. And let the legs come down long. I'm going to sit on the hands. Elbows are underneath me. Lift up from the elbows and let the head come up and back. So this is fish pose, unsupported fish pose. So my head hang heavy. Chest is lifting up. So here I'm sinking into my shoulders. Here I'm lifting out of the shoulders. Toes point. This is like the opposite stretch on the neck. Chin tucks in towards chest. I untuck the shoulders, the arms. Just going to place the blanket off to the side and hug the knees in towards the body. Doing a little rock side to side. And I'll let the knees roll over to the right. Left hip stacking over right hip. Right hand lands on top of the left knee. Left arm opens up like the letter T, and I'm pressing the shoulder down towards the ground. You can look over this extended left arm for Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. Head comes up through center, knees come up through center. I'll let the knees drop over to the left. Right arm opens up like the letter T. You can look over that extended right arm. Pressing the shoulder down towards the ground. Hi. Hello. Are you gonna drool on my face? That's rude. We'll bring the head back up through center, bring the knees back up through center. And just notice, is there any last wiggle or stretch or pose that your body's asking for? And allowing yourself to move through that now. Just allowing yourself to intuitively move. There's no right or wrong answers here. Just getting any last movement out of the body before our Savasana final relaxation pose. And when you are ready, allowing your legs to come down the length of the mat. Feet land at least a foot apart. Legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Hands come to land down by the sides, 6 inches apart, or away from the body rather, palms face open to the sky, shoulders tuck under. Head centered, eyes can close or just be at a soft gaze towards the sky. If this brings any pain to your lower back, you can bend in the knees nice and deep, feet come wide, and knees knock together for broken bridge. Then the hips lift, elongating the lower back to gently place it back down. I'm not using any muscle strength here, just gravity is enough. But traditionally it is practiced with legs down the length of the mat. I'm going to come up to seated so that I can more easily guide you in this meditation, but you just stay laying down. So Shavasana is an opportunity to integrate all that you've been practicing this entire, the whole sequence, movement sequence today in yoga, whatever breathing techniques we've been working on, and also just integrate some experiences that you may have been be having in your life. It's just a time of integration, much like sleep is at the end of the night. And we'll start this meditation, or this practice, the way we started our first grounding practice, with 3 cleansing breaths, in through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. And the shoulders just stay relaxed here. And allowing the breath to continue just in and out through the nose, if that's available. Inviting your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Every exhale sinking you deeper and heavier into the ground below you. The space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. A symbol of Chitta Vritti, monkey mind. I'm just inviting that monkey to take a break, sit this one out. Muscles of the lips and the cheeks relax. Nose and nostrils relax. Gently allowing air to pass through like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets, eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles in the forehead relax. Muscles in the ears, surrounding the ears, and all the way down into the ear canals. All rest. Back of the head, top of the head, the hairline, the whole head relaxes. Neck and throat release. Shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Lower arms and wrists release.
backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, whole hands alive with vibration, whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back rest heavy, supported by the earth below. And chest and belly naturally rise and fall with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, hips rest heavy. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles release. Heels, arches, toe ball mounts, tops of the feet and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And allow your inhalations to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. And all that feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of lightness and expansion, and the attention lifting to the surface front side of the body. As fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl, head can gently rock side to side. Arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Let the knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Take this time to bring to mind any intention or dedication you sent for class, or take this opportunity to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of hip and leg flexibility poses and sequences with lunges and leg strength. The first namaste I said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste I said out loud to the community that held this space. Namaste. Thank you to everyone who joined me today and stuck with it through all the technical difficulties and otherwise chaos that's happening over here. So namaste, Bodhi. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. You know, this is what we do yoga for, just to roll through it. Like, yoga is basically like structured stress on the system, so you can practice it, but sometimes it's not structured and it's just like random. And I'm just like, oh, this is exactly what I'm here for. Yes, thank you for dropping the tip. So tips in the chat, they are always welcome, very appreciated and never required. The recording won't have it doesn't have lag and like interruptions because it's recorded on OBS, so it's not reliant on my internet. So yeah, and the recording does get you timestamps to all your favorite parts of class. It's still nice to train your awareness of your breath when you're moving. Yeah, absolutely. Even not on the mat. For sure, there's like so much value to just like bring it back to the breath. It's easy to feel lost when your breath gets away from you and all that. So I appreciate you. All right, I feel like painting. That's all that kept coming into my head, and like I have so much work to do, but it's like stuff I actually want to do, you know? I was reading how people breathing from their upper chest, and usually people do that in fight or flight mode. Yeah, well, if you look at like babies breathing, they all breathe deep belly breaths. And it's really cute, and animals do it too. But we like learn to stop doing that. Like I remember reading in like Teen Vogue or like 17 magazine or some shit like that, like when I was like 13, 14, like, oh yeah, just like keep your belly flexed all the time and just breathe through your chest, like you'll look better in a bathing suit. And just like looking back, I'm like, oh my god, like this is the advice we're giving to our kids. Cool. Yeah, let's do our best to get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. Okay, haha, go on, get on to that painting. Yeah, thanks. Our friend's movie, we have a friend who has a movie premiering tonight on HBO Latino. We're really, really fucking stoked about it. So I'm trying to do all week. I've been trying to like get around to doing some fan art for it so I can like promote it. But I'm only like halfway done. But it premieres tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's called Lupe. So we're really excited for that. And then I think I'm gonna go to the dog beach with Lucy, so it should be like a really sweet day. Alright, well, I appreciate you. I love you so much, Bodhi, and everyone else in the chat. I appreciate you too. And I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, hopefully with better internet connection.